Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about how to plan an Interrail trip. I went Interrailing with my best friend last August and it was so much fun, but after it I got a lot of questions about how I did all of it and how I booked everything and everything like that. So in today's video I'm just gonna talk you through that. So first off, you need to decide when you want to go and where you want to go to. The most common time to go Interrailing is the summer because you first of all don't have school and also the weather is good. You know the drill. But if you want the place to be like less busy, I would recommend going outside of the summer holidays, but that is obviously not that easy because you probably need to go to school, and I also went in the summer, so I don't even know why I'm trying to say this. But if you want a place to be less busy, I would definitely recommend it, especially if you want to go to Italy, because we did go in summer to Italy and it was really busy. And honestly, it's probably always busy in Italy, but in summer especially. So I don't know, that was something I liked less about Italy, that it was really busy, especially in Rome. But yeah, you cannot really avoid that, I think. And for the dates, it's easier to have like a set dates that you know that you're going, so you can figure out what days you will be traveling. If you have the dates set, that's easier for when you're getting a pass. Why do I keep moving like this with my hands? I don't know what that is about. So me and Ailey decided that we wanted to go on an Interrail in like November 2018 and we were going August 2019. So we decided that we wanted to go and we started like looking at, not specifically the dates actually, we started looking at the places we wanted to go to. So when we first started planning, we came up with this route that started in Amsterdam because Ailey was gonna fly here. So we would go to Paris and then down to Italy, and then from Italy to like the east of Europe, like Budapest, Poland, and then we would go like through Berlin and then go back to Amsterdam. That was the plan, but then due to some things that we couldn't really control, we had to leave later and we had to come back earlier. So that left us with 11 days, and we would not be able to do that route in 11 days because then you would basically spend like half a day in each place. So that was not gonna work. So we had to switch everything up, but then we came across the fact that if we wanted to make this work, we would either have to end in a certain place and then fly back to Amsterdam, because flying obviously takes less time than going back by train, or we would have to fly somewhere and then make our way back by trains, which is what we ended up doing. I think we did this because the flights back to Amsterdam from any place we wanted to end in was just way too expensive. So we flew to Rome, and from there we went to Certaldo, Florence, Milan, Verona, Interlaken, and Paris from the 9th of August to the 19th. So that's 10 days, and Ailey came here a day before, so there you have the 11 days. So the next step is to actually get an Interrail pass, because where would you be able to go without a pass? Nowhere. So actually the pass that I got was for free. I don't really know if it's like a contest or what it is, but Discover EU does like this thing where you can sign up to win an Interrail pass if you're 18 years old and from the European Union, I think. So me and Ailey, we both signed up and I got a pass, but Ailey didn't. So we ended up getting one pass for free and then the other one we bought, but we just split the price, so it was like balanced. That's by the way what we did with everything we did basically. This is supposed to be for budgeting, but what we did is basically one time I would pay for something and then Ailey would pay for something, so it would be like in balance and we would kind of look at the prices so it was like even. Okay, anyway, if you're not able to sign up for a pass for free, you can go to interrail.eu and there they show you all the different passes that you can get. So then you can choose between a one country pass, which I think everyone knows what that is, or a global pass, and the global pass is valid in over 40,000 destinations all over Europe, so that's the one that we chose. So then after you choose the global pass, there's still like tons of different passes, so I would recommend checking out the website because there is so many passes. But basically the difference between those passes is like the time you're traveling, because for example there's a 5-day in a month pass, so then you can have 5 travel days in a month, or there is a 7-day travel pass, or there's a 7-day in a month, or there's a pass that you can travel an entire month. You just have to see which one fits your trip the best. So I would just check out the website, I will link it down below. So the one that I got from Discover EU was a 7-day in a month pass, and then the one that we bought for Ailey was a 5-day in a month pass, because technically for a trip we needed 5 days, but we were going on 2-day trip, but it was cheaper to get a 5-day pass and then just get the day trip to Verona and to Grindelwald with like regular train tickets, because that was just cheaper. Okay, so this is my Interrail pass. after the trip, and it is not doing very well. It's like broken. There's like a lot of tape here because it ripped, but yeah, this is what it looks like. I will try to explain this. Here you have the dates that you are planning to travel. I actually used 6 days, so I had 1 day left, but we did the entire trip, so I didn't have. And then down here you have to write the exact places, like the train stations you are going to. Also, if you're like switching, because when we went from Milan to Interlaken, we had to switch in Brig and in Spies, so you also have to write like the transfer. And then here you write the train times, and yeah, that's how you use your Interrail pass. Also for us, they didn't even really check it. Like honestly, they just looked at it, and if you had a pass like this, they were like, okay. And for some of the trains you have to book like seat reservations. So this is the one that we use from the train from the Rome airport to Rome city. And then for the Italy trains we could do it online, so we had the tickets on our phone. And then these and then these 3 are from Paris to Amsterdam, because we had to switch 2 times, which sucked, and we stood in line for like an hour for these. So next you obviously need a place to stay in those cities. This is something that is pretty personal, I think, because for me, by the way, the reason why we booked hostels instead of like hotels is because this is a lot cheaper. And for me personally, I don't really care about like luxury. I just want a bed and like a shower, and then I'm honestly fine. So but like I said, this is really personal, because if luxury is really important to you, then obviously go do that, like do your own thing. We just looked at anything that was cheap, had good reviews, and looked cute. The app we used for finding hostels is called Hostel World, and this is a really good app because you can just search for like the city, and then you can choose the dates and like how many nights and everything. It just shows you the prices, and if you have to pay upfront or if you have to pay there. It shows you the reviews, photos. It's just a really good app. And we also tried to look at where other people were staying, because Ailey had this friend who stayed in Interlaken at this tent village, which is the hostel that we stayed at, and he said it was really nice and it looked super cute, so that's why we decided to stay there. That place was so cute. You were basically just staying in a tent, like yellow tents, and it was honestly so cool, and people were really nice, so that was great. And also we found this hostel in Certaldo when we were looking for a hostel in Florence, and we weren't even planning on doing this. We didn't even really know where Certaldo was, but it said that it was in Florence, so we just booked it because it was so cute. It looked really like adorable and Italian, and it wasn't that expensive. After we booked it, like literally weeks later, we found out that it was in Certaldo and not in actual Florence, but it ended up being such a cute Italian town in Tuscany, and the vibes were just great. The people from the hostel were super nice, and the hostel was actually really cute. The only bad thing that I didn't really like about like the whole Tuscany Italian thing is that there were so many mosquitoes. That wasn't normal, but anyway, it was very cute. So when you're sure of like the dates and the places and you have a pass, you can go and book your hostels. So then you basically have all the important things booked, but what are you gonna do when you're in those places? We tried to kind of plan beforehand what we were gonna do. Like if we knew that we were gonna be in Paris for 2 days, we would kind of plan like, okay, the first day we're gonna go do this and that, like go to the Eiffel Tower for example, and then the second day we were gonna do this. Like we didn't plan like strict to times, because that in my opinion makes it really like strict and not nice. But I think this is just good to get like an overview of the things that you want to do, so you can actually do all of it. Because if you don't plan it, you're gonna end up and having like not enough time to do something else that you wanted to do. Maybe that would just be a waste. And then you can also get tickets for certain things, by the way, because for maybe like the Louvre in Paris you would need a ticket. Honestly, that was so stupid, but we got tickets for the Louvre when we planned our first route, which was Paris at the beginning, so we just booked it for like the 10th of August. Then when we switched like the place we were going to, we ended up going to Paris lastly, so we wasted the money on the tickets for the Louvre. And also because the Louvre ended up being free. I don't know if you guys knew this, but this is also a tip for budgeting actually, but if you're from the European Union and you're between 18 and 25 years old, the Louvre is free. So please take advantage of that. So to organize your trip, I would definitely recommend planning to get an overview. So this next step is actually a bit controversial with the previous step, because I just told you to plan and now I'm telling you to just go with it. Kind of weird. What I'm trying to say here is that a lot of things can go differently than what you planned, or it can go wrong or anything like that. Don't plan like too much and like too strict, because you have to be open for like changes. And also just don't be sad if your planning like goes to waste, because like I said, many things just go wrong. Like there's no way you're gonna go on a trip and everything's going perfect. That's just not possible. For example, when we were on a train from Florence to Milan, planned to like still have the night in Milan and just like go for dinner or something, like go into the city. Then when we were on the train was delayed by almost like 2 hours, so we ended up just going to our hostel and go to sleep. But things like that can happen, so don't be sad if your planning doesn't like specifically go through with the plan. And also just be open for like spontaneous things, because most of the time, not always obviously, but a lot of times spontaneous things are like the most fun things, so definitely be open for those. And yeah, just go with the flow. Okay, now I want to talk about budgeting. Honestly, I don't think I am the perfect person to talk about this, because I am the queen of spending unnecessary money, but I do want to give some advice for things that we used on an Interrail for budgeting. First of all, I already mentioned this, but we booked hostels instead of hotels because that is so much cheaper. You can't really change much about like the train pass and like flights maybe if you need those, because that's like a specific price. But other than that, we try to do like all of the tourist things like as cheap as possible, or we even try to do like most of the free touristy things. We just try to avoid like costs that were so unnecessary. I keep saying this, but that's just something so important, because for example, don't try and get like food, or don't get anything in like the most expensive places, because then you end up paying 7 euros for ice cream. It still bothers me that we paid 7 euros for one ice cream. Like, that is so unnecessary. But we didn't realize that we were next to the Spanish Steps in Rome. So something that we did do that was pretty expensive was going paragliding. And actually like months before we went, we talked about doing it, but we were like, that's just expensive, let's not do that. But then when we actually got to Switzerland, we saw other people paragliding and we were just like, we have to do that. And then we ended up doing it, and I think it was like 200 euros, I believe, but it was so worth the money. It was such a great experience and I really loved it, so I would definitely recommend it. But if you want to save money, then don't, because it's hella expensive, but I would recommend it. Food related, we tried to not go out for dinner and like lunch as much, and if we did, we tried to do like not that many like chic and expensive places. We just didn't want to spend all of our money on food, so we also would just go to a supermarket and get food there and just eat it in the hostel, because that's obviously really cheap. And also we spent a lot of times at McDonald's. Don't even get me started about it. Like in Italy, we'd literally go there like 3 times a day because it was really hot, and in McDonald's was the only place that was like cold. That's a really stupid reason to go to McDonald's, but it was true. Honestly, other than that, I don't really have many like budgeting things to say, because my pro tip would just be to try and avoid unnecessary costs and just do whatever is the cheapest, unless it's about quality and quality is like really bad, but you get the point. So lastly, I want to talk about my personal experience, because I loved Interrailing so much. I would definitely recommend doing it if you love traveling. I personally went with my best friend Ailey, which was a lot of fun because we both really like traveling and we just had a lot of fun together, and it was just so good. I just think Interrailing is such a good way to explore, because you can see like multiple places in such a small period of time, and it's also better for the environment. Like trains are a lot better than flying everywhere, and it takes up less, well, it doesn't really take up less time because you spend more time on the train than you would on flights, but you wouldn't have to wait like hours at the airport or something. So time wise, it doesn't really take much difference. Probably flying would be faster obviously, but on the trains you can also see like outside, and it's just really, it's such a nice way of traveling. I would honestly recommend it. Like, oh my god, go Interrailing, please. My favorite place was definitely Switzerland, besides the fact that it's so expensive there. Switzerland is so insanely pretty and it's just so cool. And I also really love Verona and Florence, those two cute Italian places. It was just really good, besides the mosquitoes and the heat, because I'm honestly not the person that is really into like heat. It was so warm, especially in Italy. It was literally like 38 degrees, which I had a lot of trouble with, but it was worth it. My least favorite place, to be honest, I don't want to get hate for this, but my least favorite place would probably be Rome. Like out of all the places we went to, you know, because Rome was just so touristy. Like everywhere you go there's tourists, it's so busy, and it was really warm. It was really nice. I like Rome, but if I have to choose my least favorite one, it's gonna be Rome. Sorry if you live in Rome. That is going to be it for today's video. I hope you liked it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Comment down below if you've ever been on an Interrail, or if you want to go on an Interrail. Let me know what places, because I'm very curious about that. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.